G'day folks, in this video we're going to be following up on a couple of questions I've got, namely the first one, how the fish are going down in the tank there after we had that bullying incident, and a couple of them got some scrapes and bumps on them, and also give you a bit of a look at how the water clarity is going after I've made a few more changes to the system, and of course we'll check out how the plants are growing as well. So I'll flip the camera around and we'll get cracking with the video. So I think these fish might be a little bit hungry. It's first thing in the morning. And yeah, we've well and truly hit summer, even though we're only a couple of days in officially. This week we've had temperatures anywhere up to 40 degrees here. And today's supposed to be 37 and tomorrow 41 and another 30 after that, high 30. As for the bullying, I've been popping the camera down every couple of days and I haven't noticed any behaviour in the video that I've been taking. And not only that, the lesions on the fish have actually disappeared. So it looks like adding those extra fish into the tank have just, leveled out the numbers to a position where there's no one fish fighting for dominance. And I must thank Doug again and the family very much for donating some fish to the cause. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to pay it back some time down the line. Something you might be able to tell from the footage I took earlier today is the water's got a bit of a yellowy browny tinge to it, and that's due to a new seaweed additive I've popped in. Thank you very much to Roger and the folks at True Aquaponics for sending the care box. I put in the same amount as I would normally put in with our other kelp or seaweed product, and it actually made the water so dark on the first day I couldn't see very far down into the fish tank, and down here in the sump tank I couldn't see the base at all. But as you can see, there's a little catfish friend swimming down there. The water is very clear now, so all those fine bits of suspended seaweed solids are pretty much all settled out in the grow beds now. You'll probably notice as well, looking down in there, how clear the water is. This little filter down in here I popped in a couple of weeks ago. If you caught the clips, it is doing a great job at capturing any solids that come through the radial flow settler, then the moving bed bioreactor. Into there, so really happy with the way that that's going. It's just a little shade cloth filter. It's got some scrubbing pads over the top of some shade cloth, so it's a very basic little build. Another little tweak I've done to the system is I've put in a larger pump. That one down there, believe it or not, is an 18,000 litre an hour pump, but it's got a variable speed controller on it, so I've actually got it down to around about 10,000 litres an hour. The old pump was 7,000 litres an hour, but I found I had issues with the water clarity in here, as you saw from the other clips. And what I pretty much will think it came down to is that not enough water was coming through there. So I did have roughly around about 1,700 litres an hour flowing through there, with the rest of it going out into the beds at only a small trickle. So it's just one of those things. With the amount of pipe work here and bends and twists and turns and fittings, you will lose some flow rate from your pumps. So that's why I upped it to the new one. It's flowing at around about 10,000 litres an hour according to the box at the moment. And through the fish tank, I've got around about 3,100 litres coming through there. Easy way to check is just measure the water from an outlet. I just stuck a bucket under there, put a timer on for 15 seconds, measured how much water came in. It was around about 13 litres, multiply that by 4 to give me litres per minute, and then by 60 to give me litres per hour. And that's how I worked out that amount. Yeah, really happy with the way it's gone. I mean, you saw the water quality before. It's looking pretty good down in there. The one drawback is it will reduce the amount of time the water spends in the radial flow settler. Previously, I had around about an 7 or 8 minute retention time in the settler there. And as you can see from this footage, that's 300 grams of feed a day for 6.5 days sitting on the base of the filter there. So it's doing a great job. Now it's down to half of that, so we're probably looking at round about 4-ish minutes maybe retention time. So it will be interesting to see next filter clean what sort of muck is on the bottom. I'll drop the camera down again and show you in the next clip for you folks who are interested. So yeah, pretty chuffed with the way it's going water quality wise. It will be interesting to see what's going on in the base of the filter though. If you are interested in seeing how these little filters have been knocked together, there will be a playlist that pops up here that you can click on after you finish watching the video, and there'll be a link down in the description as well. Not only that, for you folks who are new to aquaponics, I've got a playlist just for you. It explains what aquaponics is. It's got some helpful pointers on stocking your system, managing your system, and also a couple of small system builds complete. So yeah, check that out if you want to have a crack at starting your own system. Another little adaptation I've done is just added some little valves in on all the air lines. I've just used some irrigation pipe, irrigation fittings here. That's I think that's a 6mm line up to a 13mm line, little valve, and the same on the other side. And I'm using that to control the amount of air that goes into the settler. As you can see there, it's churning a little bit too fast. All I need to do is turn the valve a bit. There we go. And that should slowly start to slow down. So I can just adjust this to where I think it's suitable. It was going a little bit too fast before. And yeah, once that gets moving, I reckon that's a pretty good speed there, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, it just gives me a little bit of added extra control. Now onto the plants. Now you might remember in last clip I was talking about a tomato that had overgrown at that bed over there. Yesterday I came out and gave it a little bit of a haircut. Actually took pretty much everything off the top of the bed, except for these little branches here with a load of fruit on them. Basically need to clear some space for some more bok choy. As you can see, we've only got a couple left here. They're getting a bit long in the tooth. So I'm going to plant this out here. Those guys there I'm not going to let grow anymore. I'll chop them back. And I've planted another little tomato here that will just cascade over the side. I'll have to move my vanilla orchids, but the reason I got these guys is I was told that this variety here, the blueberry, it wasn't very sweet. I can tell you though, after doing about half a dozen to a dozen taste tests over the last couple of days, it's actually not a bad tasting fruit. It may not be as sweet as some of the small cherry fruits are that you get, but yeah, we're pretty happy with it, so we will let it live. It just have to hang out down this side of the grow bed so it doesn't take up any more growing space up there. And one of the beauties of having these tall raised beds in the aquaponics is, as you can see, we can let things just grow down. And case in point is the kangkong here sprawling all over the ground. Now we're not eating a great deal of the kangkong, we are eating bits and pieces. The main reason I'm growing it at the moment is actually for these new growth points. I want to try a natural farming method called fermented plant juice. It's basically where you come out before the sun comes up and nip off the points here of the plants. The reason you come out before the sun comes up is because they'll be jam-packed full of nutrition and sugars and whatnot, because as soon as they start to photosynthesize, they move those elements to other parts of the plant. So we're just going to nip these guys off, mix them with some sugar, let them ferment, and turn that into a liquid plant feed that we can spray on the leaves of all the plants, and also add it to the grow beds itself and to add some extra nutrition. Something I haven't tried yet, but something I'm interested in doing now that I have to cut back on working with fungus and mushrooms and compost and that sort of thing. So yeah, really interested in giving that a crack. Just need to buy some more raw sugar. But the grow beds themselves, yeah, as you can see, they're looking pretty good at the moment. One thing I did see over here the other day is the ginger that I forgot I planted has been uncovered. It was underneath all those tomatoes. These really hot days are going to knock it down around a bit, but hopefully it hangs on. The same with these little volunteer lettuce seedlings that are popping up. I don't know how well they're going to do over the next couple of days because I'll bake on that clay. I do have another lettuce over here that has started to go to seed. Actually nipped out yesterday and collected a load of seeds from these little pom-pom heads. Sorry folks, just had to swap over phones. The other one's overheated. It's already about 34, 35 degrees this morning. But yeah, very easy to harvest these guys. Just need to pull off these little pom-pom bits. And as you can see, there's seeds attached to the bottom there. So I collected a load of them yesterday, popped them in a little baggie upstairs. And yeah, just sowed a lot directly into this bed next to it here. And yeah, hopefully they'll take off really well. Now, there was another plant here. We had a Swiss chard or silver beet here. It wasn't looking too pretty. It had been hammered by a recent hailstorm. But not only that, we noticed there's a lot of brown or bronzing discoloration on the lower leaves. To me, that just screams mites. And I confirmed that under a little USB microscope that I've got for the phone. Loads of them crawling around on there. So the only option was to pull it out. Now, the only problem is beetroot are also a member of the same family. And over here right next to it, we have some more beetroot. And as you can see down here, the same sort of damage on these leaves. So we do have mites on there as well. I also confirmed that with the microscope. Luckily enough, these beets are of a half decent size. So Bianca's wants to have a shot at bottling or canning some of these. Won't be happening today, tomorrow or the day after due to the heat. But later on we will harvest these guys and bottle them up. I'm not too concerned about the mites on there at the moment. They don't appear to be affecting the Okinawan spinach here, or the mushroom herb, or the kangkong. I have put bits of these leaves under the microscope and seen no mites on them. so fingers crossed it's just contained to the beets and the chards at the moment. This bed over here has had a pretty good clean out, progressively harvesting the lettuce, just the bottom leaves and whatnot. A few of them over there have gone to seed, along with the coral lettuce there, so we're just going to leave them go. We'll collect some seeds off them. Actually, I might just leave that one and pull the rest to make some more space in the beds, and we can still harvest bits and pieces off these ones down the front here. But yeah, I need to fill in the gaps there with something. I might go with, I don't know, might go with some more Asian greens, just for something different, just because greens just do so well in aquaponics. Down here as well, I popped in another ginger a while back, and we got a little growth point there and another little growth point over there. And I took pity on some Cambodian ginger I harvested for dinner the other day. The end section had a shoot on it, so I popped that in here too. So yeah, we've got 3 bits of ginger growing in the system. Grandma parsley is going okay. You can see this one over here is definitely getting a little bit gnarly, but these plants have been in ever since this system has started and given us loads of harvest. I just noticed this one had started to go to flower, so we might save 1 flower head on this one and save some seeds, not that I think we need it. And hopefully this little plant here, not so little, this plant can hold on until we get some others started in the system. Just quickly for you folks who are new to aquaponics, I've got a playlist designed just for you. It's got some interesting clips on what is aquaponics and also some very easy DIY builds if you want to have a crack at making up your own system. The playlist is down in the description. There'll also be a little thumbnail pop up at the end here. And there's also going to be a thumbnail for our supporters page on our website. It runs through how you can support the channel, and it doesn't have to be monetarily, folks. I'm really chuffed if you folks just come along, watch the videos, give them a thumb up and say good day in the comment section. I'm extra chuffed if you decide to share them around with your family and friends. Makes the algorithm think people actually like the clip, so it'd be fantastic if you could do one of those 3 things or all 3 of them. I'd really appreciate it. But I will pretty much leave it there, stop spruiking myself. I do hope you're all well and happy and your aquaponics are booming, and I will catch you next clip. Cheers folks, have a top one.